the ultimate guide to prioritizing your work and life. Do you ever find yourself telling a friend or colleague that you're so busy whenever they ask how you're doing, or that you have a lot on your plate and hardly have any time for yourself? These are common answers to the question, how are you doing? Perhaps you see it as an easy response that doesn't need much explanation. Or it could be that you're in disbelief at the end of the week, wondering where all that time went. The reality is that time is precious and waits for no man, yet many of us unconsciously squander time away. But when that realization kicks in, it's often too late, or you have little time to left to spare. And the end result of what you were going to accomplish either gets shortchanged or faced altogether. Think about the time when you had to be off early for an important meeting at work, yet the night before you were off late binge watching a TV series. You ended up waking up late the next morning and had to rush to work, leaving you flustered and not well prepared for the meeting. Did you really have to watch those TV series late into the night? Or could you have used that time for an early rest? Or what about the time you had a deadline to meet and you spent every night that week working late to complete the project? Did you really have to spend every night working late at the office? Or could you have prioritized your time better and gotten the project done during the typical work hours? I'm sure we'll I'm sure we're all guilty of not spending our time wisely at some point in our lives. But let's not focus on the time that has already been spent. Instead, let's look at how we can prioritize and leverage the time that we still have. So, how to leverage your time? Going back to the age of better quantity versus quality, which do you think matters more? What if I told you that you need not worry about how much time you have left? Instead, focus on how you are making use of the time that you do have, so that is worth many more valuable moments in the future. That's right. You can easily multiply or invest in the time that you have now. This way, you will reap many more returns in the future, instead of merely spending time at present. And one small way of investing in time now so that it becomes quality time is to prioritize. I'm sure you've heard this before. It isn't new. Yet, how many of us actually intentionally sit down to prioritize daily tasks and responsibilities? Even less likely, how many of us know a method that can help us effortlessly decide what is important enough to take up an hour of time and what can be skipped? Here's an important skill I want to introduce to you. Determine value in any task or action. Before you can decide on what to prioritize, you need to know just how important that action is. Value is what you gain from an action that you take. It's the benefit you are getting in return for spending your time. Sometimes the value is immediate or short term. Other times it's only realized in the long term. So when you invest in time, you're actually creating future value for the time you put in now. Usually, the benefits are not immediate and will take time to manifest. But once they are realized, they are enjoyed over a long period of time. Reduce time expenditures. Time expenditure, on the other hand, creates short-term benefits at the cost of your current time. Usually, the benefits are quickly enjoyed, but are one-off, so once it's done, it's gone. Whether you're aware of it or not, your tasks are automatically prioritized by your brain. Some tasks can get you closer toward your goals, while Others don't really get you anywhere at all. Outside of work, most people seldom plan out their tasks deliberately, which allows them to be driven automatically. This is where you end up feeling busy all the time because some of the actions that you're doing don't necessarily align with what you want in the future. The consequence is that we spend a lot of our precious time on wasteful time expenditures and far too little on time investments. This causes a lot of people to be stuck in the same loop day after day, month after month, year after year. By simply determining the value of your daily actions or tasks, you'll already be intentionally prioritizing at a much more efficient rate. This will not only reduce time expenditure, but increase time investments that you will be able to use in the near future for much more important areas in your life. Let me paint you a scenario. So you're going on a week-long vacation to Australia. It's your first time traveling to Australia, and there are so many activities you want to do, sites you want to see, and restaurants and eateries you like to visit. All this research can get pretty overwhelming, and you may not know where to even start. Do I book a hotel first or get my flights? But what if I decide on a specific hotel and realize it's far away from all the major attractions? So I then look up what attractions I want to visit first. This list can go on. In order to get overwhelmed or overplan your trip itinerary, here's where determining the value of each action or task can help you prioritize effortlessly. Start with your intention. What is the purpose of this vacation? Once you know the purpose of this vacation, you will be able to list down a bunch of tasks or actions such as booking a hotel, booking flights and land transport, booking tickets to certain attractions, making reservations for restaurants, etc. Once you've compiled your list, the next step is simply to categorize them into three criteria: must-haves, should-haves, and good-to-haves. Must-haves are tasks that are absolutely critical to achieve the objective and should take top priority for resources and time. The should-haves are important but not critical. Leaving them out may lessen the impact of your outcome. And the good-to-haves are just optional. Not having them won't affect the outcomes of the goal. Once you are able to sort out your list according to these three criteria, you are already one step closer to prioritizing effectively and spending quality time on those must-have tasks. And this will be a game changer. You will be able to easily communicate what you are spending time on, and you will find that you have more time to spare because it's crystal clear what's worth skipping out on. This can be applied to any aspect of your life, whether you're a full-time working professional, stay-at-home parent, or a working parent. If you ever use the expression "I've been so busy" when talking to someone, then I'll recommend you give this a shot. Quantify your task. Now that you know how to determine the value of your actions spent, the next step up